Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Joe. Welcome back to SNES's Life. This is recap episode number 43. Yes, 43. So I'm going to be covering Rock and Roll Racing, Family Dog, Royal Rumble, Run Saber, and Battletoads. This is probably the best set of 5 games that I've played in a row in a while. So let's get started. First up, Rock and Roll Racing. Very little that I can say about this game that isn't good. The graphics are good. The music is extremely good. The controls are tight. The racing is fun. The worst criticism I'm going to give this game right here is the isometric viewpoint is pretty zoomed in. I would have liked it to be a little further out so you could see a little more of the track as it's coming. The mini maps in the corners, those are fine, and they're pretty easy to navigate. The game is just so good. It has 2 players. There's a password save system. There's a bunch of different racers with different statistics for how they handle in top speed and corner and all that. The announcer dude's hilarious. Shred wins first place. Viper is third. Jake is in another time zone. It's just the game had so much character. It just oozed character out of it, and it's a superb game. I remember this as a kid. I played with my dad, and we both loved it. I played with my brother. He loved it. Blizzard has this game available for free on their website, along with Lost Vikings and Blackthorn. But they have this one up there with different music. They didn't get the licensing for this music because this is a bunch of actual music turned into chip tunes. So, in fact, when I played this, I think it got muted. The VOD got muted on Twitch afterwards, which, whatever. This is a superb game. It is an absolute thumbs up. If you get the chance to play it, you absolutely should, especially since it's available for free from Blizzard. So definitely give Rock and Roll Racing a chance. It is a great game. Next up, not so much a great game. This was Family Dog, a platformer that was based off of a TV series, cartoon in the early 90s. I think Family Dog was one of the different shows that kind of came off the Tracy Ullman show, just like The Simpsons did. It was awful. The graphics weren't the worst thing I've ever seen, but the sound design, the music, the control was extremely poor. You have this weak bark that is supposed to be your offensive weapon, but it's limited ammo. There's just tons of stuff flying around at you. Your jump is super loose and floaty. It's very difficult to control. It's only 5 levels, and I got to level 4, I think, is where we got stuck, and I could not figure out how to advance past the area we were in, and it just wasn't fun. Sure, I guess if I'd have kept at it, I probably could beat it, but it wasn't an entertaining game. There's 2 levels just like this where you're running from your kid who owns you, and your kid's a prick, or he shoots a water gun at you. I think the other one, he throws eggs or something. And the entire time you're doing this, I figured out very quickly, I'm like, oh, well, if I just jump, he doesn't ever shoot or throw. Or when he does, I'm 90% of the time in the air, so it doesn't hit me. And so there's literally 2 levels where you're just doing this for a minute straight. Just moving and jumping, moving and jumping, moving and jumping until you get through the other door there. It's just nonsense. It wasn't great. It wasn't fun. Wasn't worth it. A big avoid. Thumbs down, Family Dog. Next up, WWF Royal Rumble. Joey's going to come home from college. I'm going to make him play this. Because this game, we played WWF Superstars early on. And I remember me and my brother used to love wrestling games. And me and Joey were both really disappointed in that one. It was really not a good game. WWF Royal Rumble took that game and made it so much better. The graphics were not amazing, but they were sufficient enough. The music was good. The real thing here is the control was tight, and it was fun, and they added finishing and special moves, and the game just played so much smoother, faster, and better than Superstars. I played this and ended up playing through all the way to the championship belt. I did the Royal Rumble match, and I was thrown out, I think, 6th. it's just so much fun. Like there's chairs, you can get out and hit each other with a chair. You know, I played Randy Savage most of the time. He can do the flying elbow drop off the top rope. The Undertaker gets to do the tombstone. It was a really fun game. I think it's like $17 maybe on price charting, I think is what it might have been. Sounds right. I would buy this game if I ran across it. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to seek it out. I have WWF No Mercy on my 64 in the other room, which I think is just a superior wrestling game in the end as a 3D wrestler. But I think 2-bit or 16-bit wrestling, though, this was really, really good. I know they made another one. I think it was WWF Raw. And I think, it just took this system and refined it. Super fun game if you get a chance. WWF Royal Rumble, definitely a thumbs up. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. Next up is Run Saber. So this game is weird. It is kind of an action. I don't even really want to call it a platformer. It's kind of Contra-esque, you know. It's a run and slash. You have a lightsaber essentially. Like that right there is reminiscent of like the original Star Wars poster to me, where you're standing there and he's got his lightsaber and flash at the bottom. This is another game, and there's like 5 or 6 total levels in the game. The graphics were good, and the sound design and music were fine. My big issue with this game came from the control. So there's a lot of enemies, and they come at you from both sides, and your dude moves very clunkily. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really just the only way I can describe it. Your dude moves really kind of slow, and when you jump, it's a real kind of slow movement through. You can climb walls, obviously. You can see me doing that right there. It is a very cool concept. I just would have liked to have seen the gameplay sped up. There were a lot of kind of gotcha moments where a bunch of dudes would run on screen suddenly, and just because you're slow jump, you jump but not in time, they'd touch the bottom of you and they'd hit you. The hitboxes were a little oversized, I thought. Like, there was definitely some times where I was getting hit and I was like, I shouldn't have got hit there. Like, it just didn't seem right. Like, the collision detection was off. But, I mean, overall, not a bad game, but I didn't really enjoy it. You know, I've played other games sort of semi like this, like Contra, that I think are just better games. It was a neat concept. It just didn't grab me. I just felt like the movement was too slow and too deliberate, and the hitbox thing really just drove me nuts. So I gave it a thumbs down for Run Saber. Sorry, Run Saber. And finally, we have Battletoads and Battlemaniacs. I mean, it's a beat 'em up / platform-ish game. So, like, this first stage is all beat 'em. You run around beating the hell out of people. The graphics are great. Your sprites are enormous. Whenever you finish killing someone, whatever part of your body you hit them with turns into a giant weapon, like a hammer, or your boot gets really big, or you grow these, like, ram's horns. It is 2-player co-op if you have that option, if you have someone else who's going to play with you. The problem with Battletoads, and this is every Battletoads game to my knowledge, is there's always a level or two where you're just like, how the are you supposed to beat this? Because you only get like 3 lives, or I think maybe 5 lives if you change it in the options. And 2 continues, and then your game is over. And the original Battletoads had the turbo tunnel. This one has its own version of the turbo tunnel, which I think was like level 4, because I think that's as far as I got. And it's freaking hard. I mean, you know, to get through this game as a kid without save states, you just had to play it enough to memorize it. You had to know exactly where everything was and where it was going to be and when to press buttons and move up or down. And it was really kind of irritating. That said, it was fun. I did enjoy playing it. The controls were very clear because it's basically just jump and attack. There is nothing else to this game. It's jump and attack, and the attack just cycles through whatever. You can press the left or right to run, and that does another attack. While you're running, you do an attack. You can boot dudes off the edge of stages. Right there, he's gone. You saw that hammer thing. The music was good. Yeah, the only complaint I have about Battletoads games is the insane difficulty level of the turbo tunnel. And then the second level here was also extremely difficult. It was one where you're floating down on this disc and there's spikes on the walls that get real close and they're just kind of zigzagging back and forth, and you hardly touch them and you lose so much health that you die so quickly. But yay for save states. I did make it to level 4. I did enjoy the game. You can get this one. I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks loose. I'm not gonna seek it out. I don't know that I would buy it necessarily if it came across my shot, but it was a thumbs up. I think it's worth playing if you like beat 'em ups, or if you like really challenging games, or if you like the original Battletoads or any other Battletoads. This one's probably worth playing. I did enjoy it, and I think 2-player co-op would be the best way to play it. Of course, any beat 'em up type game is better with 2 players. So that is 3 thumbs up on this set of 5 games, which is, I think, the most we've had in a long time, and it's so nice to have that. So that's it for Recap 43. Recap 44 has a couple racing games, a basketball game, so who knows how good those are going to be. But what's really great is I think by the time I finish the next set of 5 games, Joey will be home from college for the summer. Now he'll have a job, but my assumption is we'll be able to sit down and play some games together again. And I'm gonna love it because we're gonna at least spend one night and come back and play a couple games that I want him to play, like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, sorry, and then like not NFL Blitz, but Super High Impact, because I really enjoyed that football game. So definitely some games we're gonna come back and play. That's it. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in for Recap 43. Hope you enjoy it and you continue to watch the show. Thank you very much. Have a good night.